Fantastic. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. Um, we will get started here in about 1 minute. Going to give folks a chance to get settled in, and we'll get started here. For the sake of time, just give folks an extra a minute. As you're coming in, please note that as you're coming up with questions or have comments, please do feel free to utilize the chat. Pete started us off there. Thanks for starting us off, Pete. He'll be helping kind of in the back end here on our team at CUCollaborate, and then as we get going here, have plenty of content to share. I'll run through an agenda, and then we'll get into kind of the meat of today's session, which is really all about learning how to leverage the services that NALN provides to meet your goals. So with that, yeah, if you do have questions, comments, concerns, please do drop them in the chat. You may also use the Q&A function if you would like to ask a question, yeah, feel free to raise your hand if you have any questions there. So I'm going to go ahead and start sharing my screen, and we'll get going. All right. So you are at the webinar, Growing Membership Through Personal Loan Financing with National Auto Loan Network. My name is Ben Herring. I am the Director of Partnerships here with CUCollaborate. Thank you so much for joining us. It's lovely to see a lot of familiar names out there. Also great to see a number of folks that I have not yet met. Looking forward to meeting you maybe after today's call. But as an organization, CUCollaborate is really all about helping credit unions grow. We are a CUSO, so a credit union service organization. We achieved that designation middle of the year last year, and are now in part owned by credit unions throughout the country who saw the success that we've been having and really wanted to be a part of us. I'm really, really passionate about CUSO, so I'm super happy that we decided to go that route. And really, as I mentioned, we're here to help kind of credit unions succeed long term. And the way that looks like are kind of broken down into three main areas of focus, and then two main lines of business. Our two main lines of business are kind of software and consulting. And what we do is really around guiding expansion strategies for credit unions, helping you take advantage of beneficial regulatory programs that help you better serve underserved communities, and really helping credit unions drive greater impact within their fields of membership through the many different things that we do. We have a lot of different areas of expertise. You can see many of those on the screen right now. Some of our bread and butter focus has been around field of membership and charter conversions. We are currently still the #1 field of membership and charter conversion company in the country for credit unions. We've really been focused on the low-income designation, CDFI certification for credit unions over the past year or two. We'll talk a little bit more about that here in a moment. And as I mentioned, being a growth-focused organization for credit unions, many of our initiatives, our software and our consulting engagements have some component or some purpose around helping credit unions grow. So growth strategies are definitely a focus of ours as well. As the Director of Partnerships, a lot of what I do is getting to CUCollaborate with the meaningful organizations out in the industry that are helping our clients do the things that we're strategically advising them to do. And so while we do develop out a lot of different pieces of software, offer several pieces of consulting engagements, and generally devise strategies that help credit unions envision what it might look like for them to grow on to their future. Oftentimes we get to this point of saying, hey, you should do this thing, but we don't have that next step of doing the actual strategic piece. And so the National Auto Loan Network is a fantastic exemplary organization of a partner that really helps our credit unions take that next step. And so when we're working with our clients around maybe their strategies to obtain or retain the low-income designation or reach certification from the CDFI fund, National Auto Loan Network is a group that can help you get from where you are today and where you want to go on into the future. And so we're going to focus the majority of our work here in our session on the ways in which National Auto Loan Network can help your credit union grow through their services. The one thing I will want to say before handing it off to Marco and his team is these folks are fantastic. We've had a wonderful about a year and a half now since we started our partnership, and have seen a number of success stories come out of the relationship that we've had with National Auto Loan Network from our clients. So with that, I'm going to hand it over to Marco Rasic.
Hi, thanks, Ben. That's a great introduction. Thank you for the last year and a half. Hi, everyone. My name is Marco Rasic, President and CEO of National Auto Loan Network. First of all, we're a California-based business. We do work across the United States, working directly with consumers. Historically, over the last 14 years in refinancing their performing auto loan. With me today, I have Kim Feely. Kim is our production manager. Kim, if you want to say hello.
Hello, good morning.
Thanks, Kim. And Eddie Navarre is our Chief Lending Officer.
Good morning, everyone.
All right, thank you. So just here's a kind of a snapshot of our executive team, long tenured group of people I've had with me for years, and so very traditionally our focus has always been refinancing performing auto loans. But pretty straightforward. We partnered with CUCollaborate, as Ben said, a year and a half ago, and quickly became apparent that through our partnership and the API that they provide, we had an ability to focus our advertising to specific consumers from essentially serving the underserved. So we did that. So I'll talk about that a little bit more soon on another slide. So all right. So pretty straightforward. We have currently 150 members of our team, all located here in Orange County, California, city of Tustin, central Orange County. All right. Okay, so founded the company in year 2010. The idea is that when it came to auto loans, the idea was, we generally believe consumers obtained financing out of convenience. They, get the vehicle they want, they get the payment they want, and put the money down that they can afford to at that time. And then they drive away and they don't necessarily maybe connect the dots on potentially going to their credit union, going to their bank, and, getting pre-approved ahead of time. So our focus has always been in looking at consumers, working with the credit bureaus, Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion to build files and identify consumers that have a performing loan with seasoning, and they not only that auto loan, but all of their other trade lines are performing and being paid on time. So typically what we do is when we build these files is we reach out to these consumers via direct mail, very simple call to action, where we're going to ask them to go online or to call us. Now, if I just were to look at a snapshot of our business from 2018 through the end of last year, we've funded about $2 billion in auto loans. Now, we did a retrospective study with CUCollaborate over a year and a half ago, where they looked at our originations and determined with their software that almost 3 out of 4 consumers that we worked with were from would have been low income qualifying consumers for membership. And when we looked at where we actually did the business with these consumers across the United States based on where they resided, more than half were from CDFI areas across the United States. So we thought there was a connection with, always serving the underserved and what we do. like I said, we use direct mail, or we have referrals from current consumers. But typically, we're not going online and buying leads and kind of in that competitive space where the pricing is so important. And that's why we have a very significant high approval rate and pull through capture rate. So, all right. We partnered with a company, CUNA Mutual, of course, as now new to the marketplace as we know them, TrueStage. We have an optional payment product, protection product available that, when it comes to the potential auto refinance or personal loan side, we have an ability to, as an option, to have an ability to have payment protection in case of a job loss or disability that would inhibit a consumer from being able to make a payment. So that that can be discussed on an individual one-by-one basis, but we have that as an option. Really, what the product is, and you probably have heard about this product, but what it does is the goal is to reduce charge-offs, reduce the delinquent accounts. Take it, if you think about auto refinance, we start with the idea that the consumer is paying on time. They have seasoning on their loan. We meet certain criteria. When you think about personal loans, it's kind of, in some ways, it's the great unknown, right? It's a non-collateralized loan. It's, personal loan directly to them. And, what could change, from that application, 6 months from now, right? So this may be a really good option, and we can discuss at some point. All right. We have it available though. So talking about a process flow, pretty straightforward. We're going to advertise, so kind of starting top left, we're going to advertise to the consumers via direct mail. All right, simple call to action. We're going to ask them to go online to NALN or to call us. At that point, we're going to complete an application, 3 years residence, 3 years income history. At that point, traditionally, we have refinanced auto loans. So we're going to book the vehicle out. We're going to get a payoff. But what we'd like to do very simply is at the point of the application when it's complete, we'd like to ask a consumer, if a personal loan was made available to you, would you be interested? And what we're looking right now is for a partner based on your field of membership, where we could potentially pass, irrespective of an auto loan, but pass over a personal loan application to you via one of the connection points that we have, already wired up within our loan origination system, and you would be connected to as well. Now, when it comes to the underwriting, very simply in the tile on the top right, we're going to know at that point of the application, we're going to know if they're LID eligible, low income eligible, or from a CDFI and or from a CDFI area. The applications at that point can be underwritten by us, or could be brought to you, your individual credit underwriter, to price and decision. All right, we have either way we could do. We could literally take your credit guidelines, buy box, and import that into our loan origination system. Or on a high level, we could look at DTI, PTI, and minimum incomes and field of membership, and see if they are from a CDFI area through an API connection. We have a CUCollaborate or LID eligible, and do that work and then pass it over for your credit team to decision. At that point, if approved, what we'll do is present the approval to the consumer. If the consumer says, yes, I'd like to go forward, we will determine the term they'd like to go with, and then we'll prepare a DocuSign, which would be inclusive of your promissory note and security agreement, your membership application, your credit application. I would say 90+% of our auto loans today have an automatic payment set up. So we would like to incorporate an automatic payment, or it as an ACH payment. We'd like to have that option. I think it's best for performance. We see, great performance on our auto loans. And, the idea is an auto loan side, we want to, have them continue to pay for that auto loan without interruption, even though there's a break in between, the payments from their previous lender to their current lender, new lender. But on the personal loan side, pretty straightforward. We want to get them in the mode of immediately having that first payment in mind to come out on that specific day from that account that they deem. Last thing, once everything is completed, what we would do is send you a finalized loan file either through, let's say if it's through Cuddle, we would send it through SmartFund. We could send it through a secure email, a link. We have options there. And then for you to memorize the particular consumer and let us know once the loan is funded. So pretty straightforward from our side, and we would hand off, and we have I would say easily an introduction letter like we do with our auto loans to let the consumer know that everything is complete, and we take it from there, and then we would hand off. All right. Just some of our business partners, pretty straightforward. We're fortunate to partner with a number, all three credit bureaus. We have relationship with a number of income verifying entities, platforms that we've worked with for quite some time, and pretty straightforward there. We also work with, here's what's interesting, we work with American Consumer Council, which is an opportunity where, to grow field of membership if some of you work with them currently. So, all right. These are the platforms we're currently on now. So, we have options, and we have a, external IT team, but, we have an ability to build directly to you. So I don't think there's much to do around, if you were on a platform that is not listed here, we could, I think pretty straightforward, we could connect to it without challenge. So from here, I think the next step would be, if you want to know more, we could set up a meeting, and we could kind of understand your field of membership, what your goals are around how many members you like to onboard on a monthly basis or a quarterly or annual basis, and what the ability is and how we could actually do business. And we'd like to give you a proposal for how many consumers we could bring and onboard as new members to your credit union. Okay, so pretty straightforward. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them right now. Do that.
I'm going to pull down my screen just for the sake of kind of opening up the conversation here.
Okay.
As Marco mentioned, would love to kind of open this up to any questions. I don't have any questions or comments coming through yet. I'm also going to drop the meeting invite in the chat, so that if you would like to just book directly in the next few days or coming weeks, please feel free to do that, and we'll make sure that we get lined up with the NALN team. I'm going to go ahead and just pause for that, as well as for any questions that come up. And then I have some questions that were coming through here. So hang on one sec here for me. And the link that was just posted in the chat, it goes directly to meeting scheduler. If you'd like to schedule time to connect in the next few days or week, please do so. And/or you may reach out to myself or Marco if you want to put your email in the chat. I know that you're always happy to field emails directly as well. So I'll go ahead and do that for myself. As you're doing that, I know some of the questions that we end up getting from credit unions as we've been helping explore how to serve our clients through the NALN model is, tell us a little bit about some of the things you've already done with existing credit union clients and the successes that you've seen through some of these models.
Yeah, because we build a file directly with the credit bureau, we're pretty, we're very granular when we, understand how many just simple things like number of trade lines on the bureau, in addition to the auto loan, historical trade line depth, how long they go back on the credit bureau. So you wouldn't necessarily consider them a first-time buyer, even though they have an auto loan. So they have other credit, they have legacy. The average seasoning on a loan before we refinance it is about 12 months, a little more than 12 months. So, not only when we onboard our refinance loans, they have seasoning, so they have performance. And, the average savings right now, even though rates are elevated, we still have an average savings of more than $50 a month with consumers directly. So, the opportunity to have a personal loan available, I think really think of an auto loan as you may bring on a new member, fund an auto loan, and you may not have what I would call an active member. Maybe you think because you have an indirect dealer program where it's very hard to connect the dots on, making them an active member. I think in this case, where it's a personal loan directly with your credit union, I think it's a lot, what I would say, stickier, where you could potentially go and cross-sell and have an ability to, through this personal loan, I think there's really an opportunity to evolve to a credit card and more in the wallet opportunities as well. So we love the fact that an opportunity would be provided, irrespective of an auto loan, to a consumer applying with us for a personal loan as well, versus an online platform where they may not see the benefits, right? Other than they do receive the money, but at a very high rate, and without any other benefits attached. So I think it's a really good thing.
Marco. Yeah, and I'm just going to add a few comments there too on strategies that we've been working on with credit unions who are clients of ours. What we're seeing right now is credit unions who are kind of at that cusp of 50% toward their lid goals. Maybe it's 48% of their members are within low-income designated criteria. We're finding, this is actually a reason why we really wanted to focus on the personal lending side of things, was credit unions are looking for options to gain members in these areas without a large lending relationship right off the bat. And so through this model, we're hopeful that we can help credit unions who are looking at obtaining or retaining their low-income designation by bringing in a good number of new members that are within LID eligibility without a large lending relationship to start, and then have your credit union take the lead on building that relationship.
Yeah, Ben, that's a great point, because when a consumer comes to us to refinance their auto loan, our average auto loan is about $25,000 per loan, right? And when you look at a consumer looking for a personal loan, it may be $5,000 and maybe $7,500. So I think it's a great opportunity to onboard a new member, and then yet have them specifically from a CDFI area and or low income eligible. So I think it's a really good opportunity. We do that through our just through our auto channel. So it'd be very seamless for us to do. Regarding potential for application volume, right? So we would build into our loan origination system your dynamically your field of membership and your credit qualifying criteria. So the idea on our platform is not to have an application go to your credit union and to another credit union. What we would do is actually send it to you first based on a personal ID code that we would have specific to. We'd build out exactly how much funded loan volume you'd want on a personal loan side within a 30-day period, and then accordingly we would kind of can take a step back and provide that many applications, but sole and separate. I mean, it would only go to your credit union, and only if you pass would we waterfall to another partner with different criteria or similar criteria. All right, so we'd have a very strong, what I would say, look to approve and then look to book.
All right, so we do have a comment or question coming through the chat here. Thanks, Garrett. I'll just read it off to you here. Are the personal loan offers unsolicited, or are they triggered by either an existing loan with a refinance opportunity, or the consumer indicating a need during the application? Or how are you getting these or identifying these opportunities?
Yeah, so Garrett, great question. So we currently advertise to, about 1 million consumers every month across the United States. When we take an application they come to us to refinance their auto loan. When they come to us to refinance their auto loan, at the end of the auto loan application, we ask them specifically, if a personal loan was offered to you, would you be interested? And at that point, we would take that personal loan application and actually look at the criteria. We'd underwrite it, make sure the DTI, the PTI, it qualifies from a credit criteria and field of membership, and then we could literally pass that application over through, let's say, via Cuddle, Meridian Link, Route 1, for example, irrespective of an auto loan. So we wouldn't necessarily have to have an auto loan relationship. It could just be personal loan. So even though they come to us looking to refinance their auto loan, Garrett, they would have an opportunity to have a personal loan as well. That's the idea. So they may have an auto loan with a current partner of ours, current credit union of ours, and they have a personal loan with our new credit union partner as well.
That's a great question.
Hopefully
Thanks, Mark.
Answered your question there. Yeah, I would like to say this. If there's an opportunity for personal loan, we very easily can market to consumers for personal loans. I think that's more of a V2 with a specific partner, where we could look at field of membership. We could look at, I would say, qualifying criteria. Do they have a certain amount of debt? How long have they been on the bureau? What their payment history is around their credit cards? And, the idea, I think, is debt consolidation. It's vacation. It's a one-time medical expense. It's they like to make repairs, or they like to do something with their home, right? Home improvement. So I think there's really those events that come around that I think, as a credit union, that your members come to you. I think it's, upfront for us to go to consumers. I think it's really, means a lot, right? So even though we've always been branded, now our 15th year branded as a national auto loan network, we really have great people coming to us looking to refinance their auto, but that doesn't mean a personal loan wouldn't be advantageous to them if offered. So.
I'll say just a couple other things on, as we've been working through how credit unions can leverage kind of this platform to achieve their strategic goals. One thing I've really appreciated about the way that NALN approaches their work is, one, they're definitely conscientious of and can work with your field of membership, as Marco kind of mentioned there. They do have a national presence, and so a broad reach certainly increases your chances for volume. But they've actually been doing a wonderful job of getting pretty granular with within credit unions' fields of membership or their desired regions or states that they want to reach consumers in. And the other thing I want to clarify and just elaborate on with regard to our partnership. So NALN is using our software. They engage us directly. So if you're looking to, let's say, increase your CDFI lending, for example, they're already wired up with our software so that when, as Mark mentioned earlier, a consumer's coming in, they can tell you whether or not an individual is helping you with your CDFI goals. And that is not an additional service or cost to you or your credit union. They're doing this as a way to help credit unions achieve those goals, and it's the way that we at CUCollaborate build out our partnerships. So we've now been seeing credit unions who are really hyper focused on needing to boost their lending in these areas see success in growing their loan portfolios. Specific to target markets for CDFI and specific to increasing membership that are eligible for LID.
Yeah, great point, Ben. At the moment of the application, once it's complete, we can through either a messaging, online, or with the loan package, we would let you know if if they're verified CDFI area and or LID eligible. So we're able to do that one by one. All right. Okay. Any other questions? Yeah, sorry.
Always happy to give folks time back in their day. Typically speaking, we can really get into the weeds on a follow-up call. As I mentioned, the link that says discuss loan sourcing strategies with NALN is a link to my meeting scheduler. Feel free to book anytime that's available there, or just shoot Marco or I an email if you want to work through scheduling some time to discuss how we can help you with your lending and or LID or CDFI goals for 2025. So with that, I'm not seeing any other questions or comments coming through. Marco, do you want to send us off with kind of some final words here?
Yeah, I think, Ben, thanks for that. I think we're prepared as a business. We're seeing great performance with our partners in the auto refinance space. We believe that with the processes we have in place, we've developed over the last 14 years, it'll translate to personal loans. And I think we believe you'll get great performance, and we'd like to talk more individually with you if you'd be interested in learning more. So I'll take the time, and you're welcome to email me directly or click the link for Ben. But thanks for your time today. Hope you have a great rest of your week. All right. Thank you, everyone. Thanks, Kim.
Everyone.
Thanks,
We'll
Abby.
have a follow-up email coming out here momentarily with the slides that we covered today, as well as contact information and ways to continue on with this conversation with your credit union. So thanks, everyone. Looking forward to working with you all in the future. Have a wonderful
Thank you.
and happy New Year. Thank you.